It's your boy Spank Dog, aka Puffinstein at YouTube. Like, comment, share, subscribe. You already know. Let's get right into it. All right, let's get it.
Hi, I'm Rod Shaw, president of the Rockefeller Foundation. I'm here today with Jimmy Donaldson, better known as Mr. Beast. How's it going? And we are together, the Rockefeller Foundation and Mr. Beast, launching a great new partnership together. Yes, we're going to try to inspire the youth all around the world, change lots of lives. Lots of big projects coming up. We'll tell you more about it in the future, but I'm honored to be working with the Rockefeller Foundation and let's change the world.
You're telling me out of all the hand gestures you could have thrown up for this picture, this was the best one? Mr. Beast and the Rockefeller Foundation partnering is suspicious to me. The same Rockefeller Foundation that's tied to global banking systems, pandemic plannings, world governance meetings, and all of the charity that comes with strings attached. Why does the world's most family-friendly influencer need to partner with one of the oldest global power structures in history? Why does a man who could raise millions overnight on YouTube need to partner with the Rockefeller? Well, actually, he doesn't. So the question then becomes, what do they need from him? Maybe influence, reach, align to the next generation? For me, this is where it gets suspicious. When I see elite institutions partner with digital creators, it seems less about charity and more about shaping the culture, steering the minds, controlling the narrative. I'm not saying that this is a part of end times. However, I am saying it's definitely something that'll make you raise your eyebrows. Jesus said, take heed that no man deceives you. And this right here is the type of partnership that makes me keep my eyes open.
There has always been something so shady about Mr. Beast, and when you add the Rockefeller family on top of it, it just sounds like a recipe for disaster. Him throwing up the hand signs definitely shows his allegiance.
There's a theory that public schools aren't just taking pictures of students, they're feeding a much bigger system that nobody's talking about. Every single year, schools bring in these random third-party companies to take high-definition photos of millions of kids. And when you really stop to think about it, it's kind of strange. Most parents don't question it. We sign a form, send our kid in a clean shirt, and everything twice. But if you actually look into who owns some of these companies, that's where people online start freaking out. Random third-party companies to take high-definition photos of millions of kids. And when you really stop to think about it, it's kind of strange. Most parents don't question it. We sign a form, send our kid in a clean shirt, and everything twice. But if you actually look into who owns some of these companies, that's where people online start freaking out. Because when you follow the money, you don't end up at a small photography studio. You end up at a massive data firm, corporations with investments in facial recognition, AI training, and digital identity systems. And suddenly parents online are like, why does a data company want a perfectly lit, perfectly framed, high-resolution photo of my 7-year-old? Here's where the theory gets unsettling. These companies don't just take the photo, they store it, they process it. Some even claim legal ownership of every image they capture. And when parents ask them to delete it, a few have literally said no, because that picture is now part of their system. So people are asking, is this really about school pictures, or are schools quietly helping build the next generation of facial data sets, starting with our children? I'm not saying it's true, but with how fast digital surveillance is growing, it's not as far-fetched as you think. Stay weird.
I found this video from Beyond Weird to be pretty mind-blowing because today we're constantly talking about facial recognition, facial scanning, data collecting, and so forth. But what if these school photos were always a part of that AI system? Now, you may be saying that these yearbook photos go back to the 1950s, if not before then, but two things. I've always believed that AI is a lot older than what they're telling us, or it could have started as something innocent, but now today it's an easy way for them to collect more data and scan faces, especially with BlackRock and Vanguard being behind a lot of these photo companies.
There goes the BlackRock thing again. Honestly, with me, all I know is that they're a very rich company, and that's it. Do big corporations have a bad history in certain instances, or does it look like there are nefarious things regarding big companies? Yes. Does it look like big corporations are up to no good and all they care about is money? Yes. When I heard the number, we're talking about trillions of dollars. I mean, I'm gonna look it up. It says $13.5 trillion in assets under management. Control $13.5 trillion. dollars in assets. It's under their management. 13.5 trillion is a big number. BlackRock is worth around 165 billion dollars by market cap, and that's as of late 2025. So, you're gonna hear BlackRock in the near future. Like I said, I don't say anything about stuff I don't know. So I couldn't say anything about BlackRock. It's not even that I want to. It's just the whole big corporation thing. You know what I'm saying? They've been given a bad name. That's just a fact. The whole big corporations, all they do is care about money. They go together. I would pray that there's corporations out there that are trying to do the right thing and not just care about, advancing and getting more and getting more. Whatever happened to repairing and giving to people who don't have? Come on, guys. I know there's got to be good souls in some of these big corporations. The way I feel is when it comes to groups, there's never 100% bad or good in a group. And I'm talking about a group that has a certain amount of numbers. No matter what, in a group that has a certain amount of numbers, there's always somebody there saying that ain't right. That's not right. That shouldn't be happening,
In July of 2023, Tafari Campbell goes out to Martha's Vineyard, where Barack Obama has a residence. That night, he goes paddleboarding in Edgartown Great Pond in Martha's Vineyard. He falls over his paddleboard. He goes missing. Come to find out, he drowned. The only problem is Edgartown Great Pond is only 2 to 4 feet deep. He could have stood up. Reports say that he went into the water, appeared to briefly struggle to stay on the surface, and then submerged and did not resurface. Not only is Tafari Campbell a professional swimmer, but again, Edgartown Great Pond is only 2 to 4 feet deep. Quickly swept under the rug that he just had an accident, and that was that. That video was actually from me. It was an older video I found on my phone today, but still, the question still remains, what happened to Tafari Campbell?
How does a professional swimmer drown in 2 to 4 feet of water? Even if he's pissy drunk, I still don't understand it. I mean, pissy drunk, anything can happen, but you get what I'm saying. Like, even if he was like super tipsy, that's a no-go. 2 to 4 feet of water,
feel like whatever happened to him was quickly swept under the rug and we'll never get any real answers. And we just have to take the words of investigators and police.
Texas has some crazy sightings, weird animals, weird cryptids. But take a look at this dash cam footage. Did they capture a rake or some sort of humanoid being running across the road? Or is this AI? Some people swear it's not. Some swear it is. It has the internet divided.
It ain't
Take
a deer.
look at this footage. I have slowed it down. And tell me what you think. Is this real or is this fake? And if it's real, what is this thing?
It looked crazy, whatever it was. And it wasn't a deer. Little green, little alien-looking creature. Bony, bald. I don't know what's going on nowadays. There's lights in the sky. There's all sorts of claims. There's Atlas 3i. I mean, I don't even know anymore. Cryptid. I do know what they are because I've been into this for a minute, but I'm just saying, like, some people don't even know what cryptids are. I don't know the origin behind them, but I know they're supposed to be something on the planet that, it's like Bigfoot. You never see them or they're always hiding. I mean, they got to have some sort of special ability to never be seen.
Comment below.
Quiet night out here. Whoa! What the? Did you see that? Hold on.
It ran across.
Headlights just blinked. What is that thing?
It's gone. It's in the trees.
Quiet night out here. Whoa! Night out here. Whoa!
You know what it is? All these special effects. You know what I'm saying? So now when cameras catch stuff, people think they applied something like AI. Back in the days before AI, if they would have caught something on camera, everybody would have been like, oh, that's real. But now with all this stuff, nobody knows what it is. I'm definitely a person that don't buy into stuff quick. But that looks crazy. I'm not going to say real. I'm not going to say it isn't real. I'm saying that it looks crazy.
Oh, what the? Did you see that? Hold on.
It ran across.
Headlights just blinked. What is that thing?
It's gone. It's in the trees.
That video came from the paranormal chick. And in the day and age of AI, it's hard to say what's real.
Big shout to the paranormal chick.
And what's fake, but more and more people are capturing this pale looking entity on camera. And not just that, this is the exact same thing that man in North Carolina saw that Hopton was confirmed that was a true and real story. Matter of fact, that video and other videos reminds me of this very eerie story right here, still taking place in Texas.
We got a story about a year ago that was really creepy, and this took place in East Texas. And this fella liked to hunt hogs. Hunting's kind of expensive, so he wanted to get him a nice thermal scope. You know, we're talking about a good one. They're about $5-6 grand to put on his AR-10. So he goes out there in this real thick piney wood forest. He puts his back against a tree and sits down on the ground, and there's glass in this area with that thermal scope. Well, he sits there for about an hour and a half and no hogs. So he's like, well, maybe I should move. So he's like, okay. He gets up, he moves about 150 yards away from where he was previously sitting, sits down, puts his back to the tree again. Now he's glassing in the opposite direction, looking for stuff. Well, about that time, he sees the heat signature of something moving. And he's like, oh yeah, pigs are coming in. This is going to be it. He gets ready. Well, he starts watching this thing. And at first he thought it was a bear. But then he said the more he watched it, it wasn't a bear. He said it looked like a naked human being. And he said this thing was crawling on all fours, and it crawled directly to where the tree he was just sitting at. And he said this thing is getting its face up to the bark, and it's examining, and it's transfixed on where he was just sitting. And he's watching all this, and it looks like a white signature through his thermal scope. He said this thing sits down, and it puts its hands between its legs, and it's like squatting. And he says it looks directly in his direction.
Oh, no.
And he's like, oh, no, I think it can see me. And he said it looks up like a wolf is going to howl. But he says, it says, help. I need help. And he said it's in a woman's voice. And he said a few seconds later, it says again, I'm injured. I need help. Is there someone that can help me?
Wow.
And he's like, man, I don't know. He takes his AR off safety and he shoots around over its head. He doesn't want to shoot it just in case it's a person. He said it doesn't move. He said it breaks to the left and starts running. And he's trying to follow it, but there's all these trees and brush noise, so he's losing it. He says he touches off another round. Pow! It's still moving. But where it's moving is the opposite direction of where his truck is. So he's like, I'm not messing around. He said he ran to his truck, and he ran faster than he's probably ever ran. He got in his truck, and he's like, I don't know what that was.
Never used a scope again.
Never didn't.
See, that would be
always
one.
like, where did it go?
Where is he?
That
Oh,
would be
God.
one I wouldn't go. I don't know if I'd hunt.
I get chill bumps every time.
I just got
it. Every time.
There is a cryptid called the Rake, and I strongly believe a lot of these cryptids are indeed real. And again, I always go back to the so-called powers that be know that as well, that they are being seen more and more, and they're probably being released from these deep underground military bases and so
Drop a comment. Let me know if you believe in cryptids or not.
forth, these chimeras, and they're giving us this powerful form of AI to blur those lines of reality, to have that excuse of it's just AI.
Like Friday the 13th, the first one was considered revolutionary. That was like one of the biggest axe murderer type horror movies. So I got that soft spot for horror. You know, it's excitement. You know what I'm saying? Even with the UFOs and stuff, you know, everybody wants to believe in aliens and ghosts. You know what I'm saying?
Of 2022, a group of hunters known as the Hunting Public on YouTube were out in a remote area of Missouri, and they began to hear something disturbing in the distance. And while they couldn't see who it was, they could make out some of the words, and it disturbed them so much that they stopped what they were doing and began to record. And it started to paint a gruesome picture. Take a look.
Wonder what it could be.
I mean, there ain't nothing
Something not good's going on.
At this point, they were trying to pinpoint an area so they could notify authorities. But what happens next is truly bizarre. Now they safely made it out of the woods, but when the authorities arrived, they never found anything. And this footage is the only evidence that anything ever happened at all. But let me know what you think.
Given the fact that it really sounds like the authorities really did not investigate anything, maybe these individuals stumbled upon one of the elite's hunting parties.
The only thing I hear about Airbnbs is how terrible they are and all the really freaky, creepy stuff that happens in them. So here's episode 2 of Nightmare Airbnbs, or Nightmare BnBs. I don't know. Anywho, this couple was staying in an Airbnb. They were flipping through the channels on their TV when they realized one of the channels is just a video of a toilet. They got really freaked out because they could tell that it's some sort of like hidden camera situation. And they figured they'd check to see if it was their toilet in their Airbnb. So the wife gets up, goes into the bathroom, steps towards the toilet, and it is indeed their toilet. Now, I know what I would do in a situation like this if I stumbled upon something like this and it was the toilet that I was supposed to use. I would leave and get my money back. Well, they decided to stay and try to find the camera in these vents. Hopefully they left after that.
This is the exact reason why I stay at hotels, even though hotels do give me a creepy feeling too. And who knows how many other Airbnbs are doing the exact same thing and have not been caught yet. Take a look at this video from Bobby Curtis Lee.
It's videos like this one that make me wonder how many times we've been recorded without our knowledge and consent.
I mean, I don't travel a lot, but I probably wouldn't do the Airbnb thing. You know, too many shady things happen at the Airbnbs, and I mean all around. There's a lot of different things. I'm not really trying to leave the comfort of my own home for too long. But yeah, hotel over Airbnb.
Yeah, we've kind of been freaked out, man. Like, a little bit. That little piece right there was just barely, I could barely see it. And I said, what the heck's that? And I popped that little towel and I pulled it down.
If you haven't seen the full video, it's about a couple. The husband goes to use the bathroom and sees something in the corner. When they pull the ceiling tile back, they discover a hidden camera in the ceiling. The wife says that she had earlier been in the bathroom completely unclothed, getting dressed to go into the hot tub.
No
Call
good.
police and the Airbnb's owner is arrested shortly after. This is him. His name is Jason Yard, and it was later revealed that he had footage from dozens of different people, all guests in his Airbnb, and all totally unaware that they were being watched and
No
recorded.
good.
And the footage that he had spanned over several years. Some of the victims were even children. It's just so scary to think that this could literally happen anywhere and to anyone, and you might not even suspect it. Jason was sentenced to serve up to 9 years in prison and will have to register as an offender upon his release. But the invasion of privacy this family dealt with is honestly traumatizing.
When Mel Gibson was completely blacklisted by all of Hollywood? And is it possible it had something to do with the Vatican? Let's search this thing out a little bit deeper. So Mel Gibson was blacklisted by Hollywood and put on shows like South Park to make fun of him. So let's start by listening to just one statement out of his mouth and go from there.
That some of your worst nightmares were real. It does rip your life to pieces if you'll let it.
What will destroy your life if you let it?
These little guys, these little heathens with no soul downstairs with horns on their head.
You hear that last statement, something underground, devils, heathens, all that stuff? Like underground, maybe they have soulless entities, demonic entities of horns, just for entertainment. But when he said that, something very vivid came to mind. Do you remember when the chief exorcist at the Vatican said that Satan was running around there? And it's also addressed by Pope Francis.
Headlines around the world recently when he said the devil was present in the Vatican.
Why would they say such a thing? And I wonder if there's any clues. It's been said for quite some time now. There's a whole bunch of things under the Vatican and in the Vatican Library. That Vatican Library that nobody can go in except for certain people, having to know exactly what they want to look at. By the way, this is not creepy at all. They say it's Jesus, but what it looks like is kind of like Apollo coming from the abyss with all these demons. Many people have hard evidence of demonic things being under the Vatican.
So here in this room, they have a vase which has the image of a Medusa.
So Medusa actually goes quite a ways back, but obviously she has snake, you get it, serpent for hair.
Clash of the Titans. The original, I love. The remake wasn't that good, you know what I'm saying? But I was always fascinated with the Medusa part when she turned people into stone. If you see Clash of the Titans, the original one, you know, the owl, the mechanical owl. Yeah, man. You know, back in those days, you didn't have many channels to watch. You know, the movie theaters was like, you know, a super treat. You know, and then they had WHT, HBO. They had just arrived. But Medusa, that always intrigued me when I seen Clash of the Titans.
And she also turned people into stone. But turning people to stone, surely that's a myth, right? It has to be a myth. It's not like there's stone sculptures all around the world, especially the Vatican, that are so realistic and could even show things like veils on their head. I wonder if maybe the myths aren't myths, but actual fact. You know, we've also seen something very similar on the line, The Witch in the Wardrobe, haven't we? Where people were literally turned to stone. Maybe it's not as far-fetched as we may think. Maybe everything that's a myth is real. Because, of course, we know all the Greek gods were the Nephilim and were the fallen angels, right? Yeah, I don't know if someone sculpted that. Okay, it seems something might be treacherous under the Vatican. What about their theme park in Rome that had these demons on top? And Moloch? How about when they put this sculpture of Moloch right at the Colosseum? I'm sure you know what this god is for, right? The same god as Baal or Baal, the old Canaanite god of the golden calf. You know, I checked this image right here, and it said it was not likely AI. This thing I can't tell you for certain, but some people are alleging that the Scream persona came from the Vatican. They did have artwork, not this, that was just the same though. So
You see, that looks spooky. He looks like the bad guy in Clash of the Titans also, because one of the gods has a son and he was banished. If I remember correctly, in Clash of the Titans, there's a guy that he resembles the devil.
what was Mel Gibson so scared of that said it could destroy a human? And that it was quite literally underground, soulless individuals with horns. I'm not sure.
That great video came from Moon Henry, and I would be very, very surprised if a demonic entity did not lurk under the Vatican. They have a telescope named after Lucifer. Certain scientists come from the Vatican and vice versa.
Hey, how does Walmart know what I'm buying in cash? I got an email from them this afternoon that says, hey, can you rate this?
I did this in my other video, but this is an update. That's why it says part 2.
This product that you purchased recently, and I did purchase that product recently from Walmart. I bought it in cash, right? I walked to the electronics section and bought a USB charging cable with cash and then walked out. And I know that the first, you've already started typing. It's the Walmart app on your phone, you moron. That is a fair assumption. I do not have the Walmart app on my phone. I've never had the Walmart app on my phone. And further, I did not have my phone with me on this trip. Here's how I know I didn't have my phone with me on this trip. I remember specifically talking to the employee in the back of the electronics section and trying to explain specifically which USB connector I was looking for. And I couldn't explain it well. And so I tried to pull my phone out to show the gentleman what I was looking for, and I didn't have my phone on me. And so I had to continue my game of terrible charades and torture this poor guy until he finally was like, well, look, here's what we've got. And then I was able to find what I needed. But the point being, my phone was not on my person. I don't think I even had my headphones on my person. I didn't have any electronic devices on me. So how does Walmart know what I purchased in cash?
We are definitely living in scary 1984 times. Matter of fact, he's not the only one. Walmart has faced multiple class action lawsuits violating privacy laws with surveillance cameras and using AI facial recognition databases. This is how they know who you are, what you're doing, whether you pay with cash or not. Welcome to the AI nanny state.
A nearly $40,000 investment with the promise of a new smile at a Ponte Vedra dental office. But something went terribly wrong during the dental implant surgery. And now this 44-year-old father is dead. His father has...
Wow, from implant surgery. They offered him a free dental surgery, and he passed
His
away.
father has filed a complaint against the dentist with the Florida Department of Health and is calling for his license to be revoked. Our investigation has uncovered this isn't the first patient to die after being worked on by this dentist.
Crazy. Like, the dentist killed 2 people so far.
This is my son. This is my son today. This is my heart and my soul today.
Holding his son's ashes, Roy Estes still can't believe what happened. It was inside this office building in Ponte Vedra where his son, who he says had a heart of gold and dedicated his time to helping the elderly, went to have dental implants on October 10th.
They advertise an all-in-one. So he was going to have 23 teeth pulled and 10 implants.
Too much work at too much. Your body can't take it. Might have went into shock. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not acting like I know, but first thing that pops into my head is that his body couldn't take all that work. You know, this tattoo right here, you know, this tattoo, you know, everybody told me I should have went and got it in 2 sessions. This is my portrait tattoo of my son. And everybody told me that work like that should have been done over the course of 2 days. The guy made me sit through it in 1 sitting, you know, and when I told people that I sat there for 12 or 13 hours, because this was my first big tattoo. So I didn't know that 1 session, 12, 13 hours was not right. So people said, you know, he shouldn't have did that. When we hit like hour 6, hour 7 of me being tatted, like, you know, anytime he would hit me with the needle, it would be like, you know, it would hurt. I mean, like, hurt a lot. So I'm over here thinking that I'm being a baby. Every person that knows about tattoos that I tell that story to says he shouldn't have did what he did, you know, and thank God it wasn't dental surgery, because it's the same kind of like hurry up and get it done, get it all done in 1 sitting, and it's more money, less time. This man took his son, or his son went to get dental surgery done, and since they try to do everything, so much work in 1 sitting, it seems like he passed over that.
And then 2 full arches of teeth on top of the implants.
Amy Rao says her fiance, Roy Estes III, who was in pain from an infection, chose a dentist listed online simply as Dr. Franco with Florida Dental Implant Studio.
Dr. Franco had good reviews on his website, and they were Google reviews, and he had like a 4.8 star, and there were 64 reviews on there, and all of them were amazing.
His website touts same-day smiles and includes this picture on the front page with actor Mark Wahlberg. The caption says the celebrity proudly endorses Dr. Franco. However, a representative for Wahlberg tells us he does not know this person and does not endorse him.
He was very overly caring, acted like he wanted to help him and get him out of pain as quick as possible.
Roy's treatment plan included a full mouth dental implant restoration done in 1 day.
All the other places that we had talked to said that, you know, it could be a couple of weeks because they would need to fight the infection a little bit before they would do surgery. And also because he dipped and said that he needed to stop the nicotine for 5 to 7 days before surgery. This one didn't. They said that he was like, that was fine. And the same with the infection. He's like, no, the sooner we get the teeth out, the sooner you'll feel better and you'll have a new smile.
And how much was he going to charge for the surgery? Was it a lot less than the others?
He price matched to be the less of the 3.
And how much was that?
$38,494.
Amy drove her fiance to the appointment, but when she got to the office, she said something didn't feel right. What were the red flags when you took him to the Ponte Vedra office?
Looking around at the half-finished office was my first red flag, like walking in there and no chairs in their waiting room. The receptionist desk didn't have a countertop, I don't believe.
She snapped this picture of Roy at the dental office before she headed to work.
I'm kind of like looking around and questioning everything, but at that point, he's already getting doped up in the chair. And it's like my intuition was saying, okay, just put him over my shoulder and carry him out of there or something, you know, but I'm okay. Well, he's a professional. And I even asked him, like, are you sure that you can handle, like, he's got sleep apnea, you're equipped for all this? And he just kept saying, yes, everything's going to be fine. He's in good hands. He's going to have a great smile.
Damn.
His infection's going to be gone.
Hours later, just after 12:30 in the afternoon, according to this report, a call came into St. Johns County Fire Rescue.
Hey, Fire Rescue.
Hey, I got a call at 814 A1A North.
Okay, caller. Hello.
It's going to be Suite 102.
Suite 102, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, caller.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going on?
Yeah, send the ambulance,
Listen, they're on the way, okay? And your address is 814 A1A North?
Yes.
Okay, well listen, they're on the way. Suite 102, okay, but they're on the way for helping, okay?
1 o'clock is when Dr. Franco called me and said that Roy stopped breathing. He said that he pulled all his bottom teeth and got partial done with the top, and Roy started coming to some. So at that point is when he started to say something, and I was like, well, what was he saying? He's like, well, I couldn't really make it out, and like gurgling or something, and then he just took a couple breaths and stopped breathing.
My grandson calls me and says, Grandpa, are you sitting down? And he goes, Dad's dead. And from there,
Roy never made it home. His death certificate lists his place of death as the dental office. His manner and cause of death still pending.
This is definitely a nightmare story, and my heart goes out to the family. But just from listening to the story, I feel like there were so many red flags right down to the office itself. The wrong person working on your teeth, or you feel like this person just isn't right, no matter how many 5 stars they get, you should always listen to your gut. And somebody working on your teeth improperly can definitely lead to you passing away.
People in Alberta captured images of an object lighting up the night. Witnesses spotted this fireball high in the sky. It was seen from areas across the province and lasted between 10 to 20 seconds, heading from the northeast to the southwest, while some online
That looks wild.
sleuths have suggested it could be space debris on re-entry, but there has been no formal confirmation.
Am I the only one noticing that more and more of these quote unquote fireballs are seen across the skies, and it seems like they really have no answers for it? I have also been noticing across multiple social media platforms, people are talking about these very strange lights being seen in the skies. In a span of a week, these have been seen all across the country. Some want to suggest that they are spotlights, but others are not buying it because they have been doing some very bizarre things.
I mean, where I used to live at on Gates, there was a telephone building, and they used to have spotlights shooting up in the air, and we would look up and we would watch them, and they looked like that. But the lights that we were seeing were expected. I don't know about those. Apparently, they're not expected. Oh, whoa. Yeah, no, didn't look like that. That's wild. Oh, you see, when I tell you, because of people saying that they're trying to trick us with an alien invasion and Project Bluebeam and all that stuff, you know, it makes me say, all right, don't believe everything you see, you know, don't believe anything you see unless you know it's factual. But when you see stuff like this, you're like, what is going on? If this is some sort of trick or hoax or somebody's doing this, like, what is the purpose? Why that design? Why does it look like that? You know, and what are they getting out of it? That just looks crazy. I wouldn't even try to act like I know stuff like that. What is that? Tell me what that is. How it just stopped so abruptly.
It's gotta be a light, right?
Is that? Even if it's a light, where is it coming from?
Damn.
That's the same light I saw.
Oh wow.
There's no reflection.
Este importante avistamiento se da en el marco de la gran oleada ovni que desde hace más de un mes se ha venido manifestando en los estados.
This is weird. There it is.
What are
It
they?
just keeps like erratically moving.
In the comment section, if you guys have any knowledge of what's going on right there, of course, if you have knowledge, but even if you've seen them before, drop a comment.
Tisha and Robbie saw it earlier as they were driving down the road. Not sure where it's coming from because it doesn't have like a point of origin.
That's what I
It's
was
not like
saying.
shooting downwards or anything.
That's what I was saying. Where's it coming from? They look like they're flying. Right there, at least.
So yeah, people all over the country are seeing these lights and they have no identifiable source. But outside of these lights, people are also seeing purple lights in the skies as well.
I'm outside right now in my backyard and look what I'm seeing in the sky. No, legit. What is that? Why is it turning purple to red? No. What is that? It went from a little, it's about to be purple again. What? Yo, somebody comment down below. What is that?
I'm driving on the freeway and I see this in the sky. Now, don't mind the lines right here. That's just my camera. But I caught this on the freeway. It's just sitting there. There's no other light reflecting whatever that is. And mind you, it's behind the clouds. It's so foggy. I don't know what that is. God bless America, man. This is in San Diego, California. San Diego, California, downtown. While everybody's sleeping and getting drunk, the orb is just sitting there. I've never seen nothing like that in my life.
It's aliens.
But look, so you see how it starts to fade?
Yeah.
Look how it starts to fade, but you can still see it clear as day on my camera.
Right?
Oh, Sayana.
Oh, shoot.
Come on, oh, see,
Girl.
pickles again.
Don't walk us out.
And go put the pickles back.
See, that's like the reflection of the principal building right there.
That's what I'm saying, but that is crazy because I was like, damn, that's the bus station over there, and I'm like, that's just a parking garage, and they ain't got no light emitting from it. No,
It probably is a bus station because they're on some good.
Listen, man, stay safe out there. You know, just stick with people you know got your back, and just don't buy into nothing unless you're certain. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Spank Dog. Be careful out there. Much love, real love. Be safe. One.